My name is Naswa Salsabila with my ID A121-24015. I'm going to be the moderator for today's presentation, which is the presentation is going to start by our group from group 5. And our material title is Digital Identity. So our group member is me, Naswa, Ale, Maria, Nabila, Aulia, Ita Aulia, and Silviana. Okay, let's start from our first material, which are going to explain by me. So I'm going to tell you the meaning of digital identity. So the meaning of digital identity is refers to the username, email addresses, and phone numbers. It usually creates in digital identity in online behalf in our social media, like behavior data like browsing attributes like date of birth, gender, location, and job title. For example, in our LinkedIn, we have our track record in our education, our competition winning, and many more. And the importance of digital identity refers to collection of information about an individual, organization, or electronic device that exists online. This identity is used to represent the authenticate and authorized user in digital spaces. Okay, I think that's all from me, the explanation about digital identity and the importance. So next is types of digital identity are going to explain by Ale. I let Ale to explain the material.
Okay, I will explain types of digital identity. So first, self-sovereign identity is a type of digital identity where the user has full control over their personal information. Unlike traditional systems, users manage and share their identity data directly without relying on any central authority or intermediary. This approach enhances privacy and security because individuals decided what information to share and with whom. Next, federated identity allows users to access multiple online services using a single set of credentials managed by trust third parties such as Google or Facebook. When you ask options like sign in with Google, your identity will be shared across different systems, making it easier to a single system. This model is common in organizations where identity data is maintained and verified by one trust entity, while it simplifies management and enforcement of security police. It also creates a single point of failure and limits user control over the data.
Is going to explain by Silviana. So I'll let Silviana to explain the material.
Okay. So the next material is how digital identities are created. First, registration process. Email, social media, government portals. The creation of a digital identity begins when a person registers on a digital platform. This can include signing up using email, creating accounts on social media platforms, or accessing government portals. During registration, users provide personal information such as their name, date of birth, or identification number, which forms the base of their digital identity. And the number 2, verification methods. Through encryption, making it harder for unauthorized access.
Now everybody silent and pay attention to the class, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so our material next is risks and challenges of digital identity. Often to steal money or access service. For the example is someone use your social media login information to send fake message to your friends asking for money on your behalf. The second
Kalau mau kasih istirahat.
commerce,
Ini.
leading to fight and challenges in digital identity. Next, we move to our material, digital identity and privacy, complex explanation by Maria. So I'll let Maria explain the material.
So the next material is digital identity and privacy. Number one is consent and data control. You have the right to decide who can access your data and how it's used. For example, apps often ask for permission before giving your personal info. It means you are in control of your personal information and no one should use or share it without your clear permission. And the second is encryption and secure storage. Your data is protected using encryption, which means even if someone steals it, they can read without the right key. And the last, GDPR and global.
Okay, thank you, Maria. So we move to our last material, which is future trends in digital identity that are going to explain by Intan Aureli. Okay, one. Present and decentralized identity. This means our identity is not long stored in one place like a government or company, which lets in we control our own data. It's safe and more freedom. Two, AI and identity verification. AI help companies in VR and recurrent. For example, it can scan our ID card or analysis how we become our. Three, biometric advancement. This is when we use our brains, voice, or eyes to log in or unlock something. Your problem saying this is guys, only more easy and security. Thank you. Okay, so I think this is the end of our material explanation. So we move to
Can these new technologies improve the security of digital identity or increase the risk?
okay, thank you, Rizkia. Don't forget to send your question to the chat. Okay, Kevin.
Activity, I want to ask you. I'm Kevin Arapanasway. I'm group 2. So, saya tanya tentang yang bagian important of digital identity, yang bagian central to cyber security and data protection. So my question is, if digital identity is central to cyber security, what are the consequences when such system fail or are compromised?
Group 1, I want to expand about question. In your opinion, which group of society benefit the most from the implementation of digital inclusion and empowerment? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gusto. To send your question on the group, yeah. Thank you. So give us some time to answer the question, please.
Digital connectivity become crucial for remote work, education, and social support. However, achieving this requires the deliberate policy and program. They address barriers such as the hype, enabling them to engage more fully in society and benefit from the opportunities of the digital age.